Japan isn't just about cherry blossoms and sushi. It's also home to some of the world's most terrifying haunted places, from cursed forests where lost souls whisper to abandoned islands crawling with ghosts. These locations will make your blood run cold. What if I told you there's a tunnel where phantom hitchhikers vanish mid-ride, or a well where a murdered girl still counts plates in the dead of night? Tonight, we're diving into Japan's darkest legends, where the dead don't rest, and the past never stays buried. Stick around, if you dare. One, Aokigahara Forest, Suicide Forest. Aokigahara Forest, also known as the Suicide Forest, is a dark and eerie place near Mount Fuji in Japan. This thick, quiet forest is famous for its tragic history and ghost stories. Many people believe it is haunted by the spirits of those who died there. The trees grow so close together that sunlight barely reaches the ground, making the forest feel cold and lonely even during the day. One of the saddest things about Aokigahara is that many people go there to end their lives. Every year, police search the forest and find bodies. Some say the spirits of these lost souls stay in the forest, crying or whispering to visitors. People who have walked through Aokigahara report hearing strange sounds like footsteps or voices even when no one else is around. Others say they feel like they're being watched by unseen eyes. The forest has a strange energy that makes compasses stop working, causing hikers to get lost easily. To avoid disappearing, some people tie ribbons or tape to trees to mark their path. But even with these warnings, some never return. Old legends say the forest was once a place where people abandoned the sick and elderly to die, and their angry spirits still linger. Books and movies have made Aokigahara even more famous, often linking it to death and ghosts. The Japanese government has put up signs urging people to think of their families and seek help instead of harming themselves. Despite these efforts, the forest remains a place of sadness and mystery. Visiting Aokigahara feels heavy and unsettling. The air is silent, the trees seem to move on their own, and the feeling of being watched never goes away. Some say the forest calls to lost souls, drawing them deeper into its shadows. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, one thing is certain: Aokigahara is not a place where you want to stay for long. 2. Himeji Castle's Okiku's Well. Himeji Castle is one of Japan's most beautiful castles, but it hides a dark secret: the ghost of a young woman named Okiku, who haunts a well inside the castle grounds. Long ago, Okiku worked as a servant for a wealthy samurai. A cruel man in the household wanted to marry her, but she refused. To take revenge, he hid one of the family's 10 precious plates and blamed Okiku for losing it. In those days, losing such valuable items was a serious crime. As punishment, the samurai threw Okiku down the well, where she drowned. After her death, people began hearing a woman's voice counting plates late at night. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9, then ending with a loud, terrible scream. The ghostly counting comes from Okiku's spirit, forever searching for the missing 10th plate. Some say if you listen carefully near the well at night, you can still hear her voice. Others claim to have seen a pale, sad-faced woman in old kimono robes floating near the well or even climbing out of it. The well, now called Okiku's Well, is a famous haunted spot in Japan. Visitors often feel a cold chill near it, even on warm days. Some people leave small offerings like coins or flowers to show respect for Okiku's spirit, hoping to calm her restless soul. The story of Okiku is so famous it has been turned into plays, movies, and ghost stories told across Japan for hundreds of years. While Himeji Castle is a stunning place to visit during the day, with its white walls and graceful towers, the area around Okiku's Well has a heavy, sad feeling. Many visitors say they don't like staying near the well too long, as it gives them an uneasy feeling of being watched. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, The tragic tale of Okiku reminds us how cruelty can leave a mark that lasts long after a person is gone. 3. Ouranbuchi, Ouran's Cliff. Ouranbuchi, also known as Ouran's Cliff, is a beautiful but tragic place in Tochigi Prefecture with a very dark past. Long ago, during Japan's Edo period, this spot was where luxurious pleasure boats would float down the river carrying oiran, the highest class of courtesans who entertained wealthy clients. But beneath the beauty and glamour lies a horrifying secret. When these elegant women grew too old or sick to work, they were often taken to this cliff and thrown into the river below to die. Their sad spirits are said to still haunt the area today. Visitors to Ouranbuchi report strange feelings of sadness when standing near the cliff, especially at dusk. Some hear women's voices singing old songs or sobbing in the wind. Others claim to see mysterious figures in elaborate kimonos standing at the edge of the cliff, only to disappear when approached. The water below sometimes appears red like blood, even though there's no logical explanation for this. Many believe this is the anger and sorrow of the murdered women showing itself. The most famous ghost story here is about a particular oiran named Takao, who was betrayed by her lover. Instead of saving her when her beauty faded, he pushed her off the cliff himself. People say her spirit appears on foggy nights, still wearing her beautiful hair ornaments, asking visitors if they've seen her lost love. The local government has put up warning signs telling people not to visit after dark, as some who have ignored this advice claim to have been pushed by unseen hands or followed by floating lights. Today, Ouranbuchi is both a historical site and a place of remembrance. Some visitors leave small offerings like flowers or coins to honor the dead women. While the view of the river and surrounding nature is breathtaking, there's an undeniable feeling of sadness in the air that makes most people not want to stay too long. The tragic stories of these women serve as a haunting reminder of Japan's darker history, where beauty and cruelty often walked hand in hand. 4. Doll Island, Hashima Island, Gunkanjima. Hashima Island, often called Gunkanjima Battleship Island because of its shape, is an abandoned mining town off the coast of Nagasaki that looks like a ghostly concrete fortress rising from the sea. In the early 1900s, it was a busy coal mining facility where thousands of workers and their families lived in cramped apartment buildings. But when the mine closed in 1974, everyone left suddenly, leaving behind everything: furniture, toys, even dishes still on tables, making it feel like time stopped. Now, the empty buildings are crumbling, and the island has become one of Japan's creepiest places. The island's dark history makes people believe it's haunted. During World War II, Korean and Chinese prisoners were forced to work here in terrible conditions, and many died from accidents, exhaustion, or mistreatment. Visitors report hearing whispers in empty hallways, seeing shadowy figures in broken windows, and feeling like they're being watched. Some say you can still hear the sounds of mining equipment or children laughing, even though no one has lived there for nearly 50 years. The most haunted spot is said to be the Old School, where people claim to see ghostly children running through the ruins. Because the buildings are so dangerous, tourists can only visit certain safe areas with guides. But even during daytime tours, many visitors feel uneasy. Some get headaches or feel sudden cold spots, and cameras often malfunction for no reason. At night, fishermen passing by sometimes report seeing strange lights moving in the empty buildings, as if someone is walking through them with a lantern. The Japanese government now allows limited visits to the island, but the empty apartments with peeling walls and broken stairs keep most people from staying too long. Hashima Island stands as a sad reminder of Japan's industrial past, a place where dreams of progress turned into a ghost town that the sea is slowly reclaiming. 5. The old Shimanete Asylum ruins. Deep in the mountains of Shimanete Prefecture, the ruins of an old mental hospital stand crumbling and forgotten. This was once the Shimanete Asylum, a place where patients with mental illnesses were kept in terrible conditions many years ago. When it finally closed, the building was left to rot. But locals say the suffering that happened there never really left. People who have dared to enter report hearing screams and cries coming from empty rooms, even though no one has lived there for decades. The most chilling stories tell of ghostly figures seen staring from broken windows, their faces filled with sadness and pain. Some visitors say they feel sudden cold spots or get grabbed by invisible hands when walking through the dark hallways. Others report seeing bloody handprints on walls that disappear when they look closer. The worst area is said to be the basement, where the most difficult patients were kept. People who have gone down there claim to hear whispers begging for help, and some come out feeling sick or dizzy for no reason. The local government has tried to keep people away by boarding up the entrance, but curious visitors still find ways inside, often leaving quickly when the strange happenings become too much. The sad truth is that mental hospitals in old Japan were often cruel places where patients suffered greatly. Many believe the spirits of those who died unhappy there are still trapped in the ruins, unable to find peace. While some ghost hunters visit looking for thrills, most locals avoid the area completely, especially at night when the sounds of crying and rattling chains are said to be the loudest. The Shimanete Asylum ruins serve as a dark reminder of how people with mental illness were once treated and why some places are better left alone. 6. Inunnaki Village. Deep in the mountains of Fukuoka Prefecture, there are whispers about a village that doesn't appear on any maps, Inunnaki Village. According to local legends, this is a place cut off from the rest of Japan, where normal laws don't apply. The stories say that long ago the villagers rebelled against the government and declared their own rules, creating a community where anything was allowed. Over time, they became violent and unwelcoming to outsiders. People who claim to have found the village describe seeing strange signs, warning visitors to leave immediately, with messages like, "The Constitution of Japan does not apply here." Those who ignore the warnings tell terrifying stories. Some report seeing houses with broken windows and bloodstains, while others hear screams coming from the woods. The most chilling tales speak of villagers with blank, emotionless faces who follow visitors silently, disappearing when confronted. There are rumors of cannibalism, human sacrifices, and other horrors happening in secret. Many who enter the area say their phones and GPS stop working, making it impossible to call for help or find their way back. While some believe Inunnaki Village is just an urban legend, others swear it's real. Old records show there was once a small mining village in the area that was abandoned long ago, which might explain the empty buildings people sometimes find. The Japanese government says the village doesn't officially exist, but that hasn't stopped ghost hunters and curious explorers from searching for it. Most come back empty-handed, but a few return with strange stories of feeling watched the entire time, hearing voices calling their names, or finding mysterious footprints following theirs in the dirt. Whether real or not, the legend of Inunnaki Village serves as a warning about places that are better left unexplored, where the normal rules of society might not protect you from whatever or whoever lives there. 7. Noborito Research Institute ruins. Hidden in the woods near Tokyo, the abandoned Noborito Research Institute is one of Japan's most disturbing haunted places. During World War II, this facility was used by the Japanese military to develop secret weapons, but dark rumors say they also conducted horrible human experiments here. Prisoners of war and civilians were allegedly tortured in the name of science, suffering unimaginable pain before dying in the cold, concrete rooms. After the war, the building was left empty, but locals say the victims' spirits never left. People who have snuck inside report feeling sick the moment they enter, as if the air itself is filled with suffering. Shadowy figures are seen darting between broken equipment, and muffled screams echo down the crumbling hallways. The worst area is the basement, where the experiments supposedly took place. Visitors describe an overwhelming sense of dread, with some claiming to see ghostly faces pressed against the dirty windows from the outside, even when no one else is around. Equipment moves by itself, doors slam shut, and cold spots appear where people report being touched by invisible hands. The Japanese government denies most claims about human experiments, but historians have found evidence that some did occur. This makes the hauntings even more chilling. These aren't just ghost stories, but possibly real spirits of the tortured dead. Security guards occasionally patrol the area, but even they refuse to enter the building after dark. The Noborito Research Institute stands as a grim reminder of war's darkest secrets, a place where science crossed into madness, leaving behind scars that may never heal, both on the land and in the spirits that still wander its halls. 8. Yotsuya Kaiden, Ichimoku Pond. The story of Yotsuya Kaiden is Japan's most famous ghost tale, centered around a vengeful spirit named Oiwa. It all began in the early 1600s in Tokyo, when a poor samurai named Iemon grew tired of his wife Oiwa. After she became ill and lost her beauty, he secretly planned to marry a richer, more beautiful woman. To get rid of Oiwa, he tricked her into using a poisonous face cream that horribly disfigured her. When she saw her ruined face in the mirror, Oiwa went mad with grief and accidentally killed herself on a sword. As she died, she cursed Iemon with her last breath. Soon after, strange things began happening. Iemon saw Oiwa's deformed face everywhere, in lanterns, sliding doors, even in his new wife's features. Her ghost, with one drooping eye and rotting skin, haunted him relentlessly. According to the legend, she drove Iemon to kill his new wife by mistake, thinking she was the ghost. The curse continued until Iemon went completely insane and died a painful death. The pond near their home, now called Owas Pond, became known as a haunted spot where her angry spirit lingers. Even today, people report seeing a woman's face reflected in the water at night, her one good eye filled with sadness and rage. Actors performing the Yotsuya Kaiden play sometimes claim to experience bad luck or accidents, believed to be Oiwa's curse affecting those who tell her story. The tale has been adapted into countless plays, movies, and books over 400 years, but the original pond in Tokyo remains a place where visitors sometimes feel sudden chills or hear a woman's whisper on the wind. Oiwa's story reminds us how powerful love, betrayal, and revenge can be, strong enough to echo through centuries as Japan's most enduring ghost story. Would you like me to continue with the next haunted location? 9. Bancho Sarayashiki, the Dish Mansion. The story of Bancho Sarayashiki, or the Dish Mansion, is one of Japan's most spine-tingling ghost tales. It tells the tragic story of Okiku, a young servant girl who worked for a wealthy samurai family in Tokyo long ago. The samurai had 10 precious plates that were his pride, but one day he found only 9. He accused Okiku of stealing the 10th plate, though she swore she was innocent. In a cruel punishment, he threw her down the mansion's well, where she drowned. After her death, her ghost began appearing at the well every night, counting plates in a trembling voice. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9, then letting out a blood-curdling scream when she couldn't find the 10th. The legend says the samurai was driven mad by her ghostly counting, which never stopped echoing through the house. Some versions claim he hid the plate himself to trap Okiku, while others say it was an accident. Either way, her spirit could not rest. To this day, people visiting the well claim to hear faint counting, especially at night. Some even say they've seen a pale, soaking wet girl in a tattered kimono crawling out of the well, her eyes wide with sorrow. The story has been told in kabuki plays, horror movies, and ghost tours, making Okiku one of Japan's most famous yurei, or vengeful spirits. Though the original mansion is long gone, the well still stands in Tokyo's Bancho area, marked as a haunted spot. Visitors leave small offerings like coins or flowers to soothe Okiku's restless soul. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the tale reminds us how cruelty can leave a mark that lasts far beyond a single life, sometimes forever. Would you dare to listen for her voice on a quiet night? 10. Akasaka Tunnel. The Akasaka Tunnel in Tokyo looks like any ordinary road tunnel, but it hides a terrifying secret. Built in the 1970s, this dimly lit passage has become infamous for ghostly sightings and unexplained accidents. Drivers passing through late at night report seeing a pale woman in white standing by the roadside, her long hair covering her face. When they slow down to check, she suddenly appears right in front of their car before vanishing into thin air. Others tell of a mysterious hitchhiker who gets in the back seat, only to disappear before reaching the tunnel's end. The scariest stories come from those who claim their cars suddenly stop working inside the tunnel, as if unseen hands are holding them back. When they check their rearview mirrors, they see shadowy figures sitting in the back seat or pressing against the windows. Some drivers hear loud bangs on their roofs or doors, though no one is there. The tunnel's curved design creates strange echoes that sound like whispers or crying, making even brave people feel uneasy. Locals believe these hauntings come from tragic deaths that happened during the tunnel's construction. Workers reportedly died in accidents, and some say their spirits never left. Others think the tunnel acts as a doorway for lost souls wandering between worlds. Whatever the reason, most taxi drivers avoid Akasaka Tunnel after midnight, and those who must pass through often roll up their windows and drive faster. The government has added brighter lights over the years, but the creepy stories continue. Whether it's ghosts, tricks of the mind, or just urban legends, one thing is certain: this ordinary tunnel holds some very unordinary terrors for those who dare to drive through alone at night.